So this model is where everything we've learned so far comes together, the APIs, the logic, and the automation itself. But now we want to talk about intelligence. So in this model, we'll explore how to integrate AI models like OpenAI, Google Gemini, DeepSeek. Think about any AI model you know work directly inside n8n. We'd also learn how to design structured prompts and build your first smart AI agent. So let's get started. Let's start first with how we connect these AI models. n8n makes it incredibly easy for you to just plug in any service at all. And all you need is the right node or an API call. So from our previous models, we talked about the fact that you always need to have a trigger. You're going to start with a trigger. Anytime I want to connect an AI model to my workflow, there are different ways in which I can do it. I can just come in here and then click on AI, and then I can use the AI agents node. I usually use the AI agents node. It's a lot more easier for me that way. But if you want, you can connect it directly to like OpenAI. And this is when you have an assistant already created in the backend and you want to leverage it. So for instance, if I just want to like use like the OpenAI node here instead of directly using the AI agents node, I can just click on this, and I would have the ability to like message a model, analyze image, generate an image, generate audio. There are different actions that you can have in here. And this is, like I said, this is very useful if you already have an assistant that you've created on the back end side of OpenAI and you want to like call it inside your workflow. But I usually use the AI agent node here. And this AI agent node basically helps me to connect to the model as well. It allows me to also add in like my own prompts. So if you go into ChatGPT, for instance, you have the ability to enter a system prompt and a user message prompt, right? So inside n8n, it also replicates the same experience in ChatGPT. So for instance, if I come in here and I say define below, then I can enter the prompt user message. So the prompt user message is really the message how you prompt ChatGPT when you go into ChatGPT, and the chat user message is really what you type inside this box when you come into ChatGPT, like how you prompt ChatGPT. And the system message is really the instructions you give to a project in ChatGPT. So always have that in mind. Also, if you are building like a custom GPT as well, you give like a system message as well. So that's the same thing we are trying to replicate inside n8n. If you require a specific output, you can always turn this on. And what this means is that you'd have to like attach a structured output parser, meaning that if you get an output, you want it to be presenting in a particular JSON format, you want it to come out as a list, you can always have like a structured output parser attached to your model so that anytime the response comes through, it formats the data that way as well. And then this is where you connect your model. Okay, so if you want to use, let's say, Gemini, then you need to make sure that you have API keys set up. Remember, we talked about how to create API keys or the importance of having API keys in our previous model. This is where you apply it as well, right? If you want to connect to Google Gemini, you need to make sure that you go onto the Google Cloud Console and create an API key. Once your API key is connected, then you can really connect n8n to that, and then that communication is established. Now, the other thing that you need to note as well is that you can decide on which model you want to use. At the time shooting this video, we have Gemini 3.0, which has recently been released. So if that's what you're interested in, then you can also like drag this model in here as well. And then you can add like properties and stuff like that. You can have properties like the maximum number of tokens. If you want to put in any like safety settings, then you can do so as well. And then here is where you connect the memory node, right? And in terms of memory, it really depends on what you're building. I typically would, for testing and all that, I typically just use a simple memory. If you want to use all these other memory types, then you have to sign up for them, like Redis, MongoDB. You have to sign up for those type of memories. And the importance of memory is to help your AI agent or your flow remember, right? So you always need to make sure that you have like a session key. So what's important is that you have a session key so that if you have to always like reference back, there's a key in memory to identify that workflow for you. So that's great. The most popular ones I use when I'm building my own workflows are like Google Gemini. I also use, if I don't want to use Google Gemini, for instance, I also end up using OpenAI. So I can use the OpenAI chat model, and it's a similar interface as you can see with Google Gemini. You can decide to like, again, you need to have an API key. So once you have your API key connected, then you can select the model you want. The latest model now is 5.1. So if you want 5.1, then you can select that as well. Then you can, if you want to have like a built-in tool, then you can add that as well. Well, in order to have this working for you, you always need to make sure that your agent node has a system message, okay? Because that's what the model is there to act as a brain, right? So that's what the model would follow to respond to you. Now let's talk about something like the Hugging Face inference model. Okay, so I typically will use the Hugging Face inference API when I have like specialized tasks to run, like sentiment analysis, image captioning, or summarization. And you can use it by basically connecting an endpoint. So you first need to create a credential and you can select the model you want. It would work that way. Okay, so all these models I've showed you have one thing in common. They take a prompt as input and then they return a response. So it's very important to master how you design that prompt, and that's what makes your automation truly intelligent. So just make sure that your prompts, the system message especially, is written, you rewrite it, you test it several times. And one tip I usually give to students is instead of just having it directly in here, you can test it several times in the front end of ChatGPT to make sure that your prompt is delivering the results you want. You can test it manually first and then you can bring it into n8n as well.